Hey everybody, Mr. Finner here. I'm going to be doing a room tour today to kind of show off my room, how I do things, and how everything is set up. This is based on a request from, or several requests from a Facebook group that I belong to called Not So Wimpy Fifth Graders. And after I posted some pictures, they wanted me to kind of show the full tour of the room. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So there are three parts that I'm going to be majorly covering. First off, I do flexible seating. Second, I do whole brain learning. And third, I have a computer engineering club where I teach kids how to build and repair computers. So I'm going to show off all three of those parts and how I implement each one in class. I hope you enjoy. Oh, one last thing before we actually go in. Well, a couple things. First off, I haven't actually been in my room all day because I've been teaching SSI. SSI is what we do in Texas for kids who failed the STAR test on their first pass, and these are kids who are trying to pass it on their second try. So I've been in tutorials with them all day long, and my student teacher is actually teaching. He was assigned to me, and we have been teaching together all year, and now he's kind of taking on the whole class. The second big thing is, because we've been STAR testing, there are no posters on my wall. It's very bare right now. It is not nearly this cold and prison-like. I usually like a lot of color and a lot of different types of motivational posters and stuff. But you know the drill for testing. You got to take everything down and all that. So I'm going to take you through the classroom and show you how I do it. So the first thing I want to show off is this is my door, and if you look, I have a poster, an anchor chart poster that is showing off my newest Donor's Choose project for Your Wizard Harry. If this project is funded, I'm actually going to be completely transforming my room to basically be like stepping into Hogwarts. It would be an amazing classroom. Like my doorway would look like platform 9 3/4. I would have hanging LED candlesticks from the ceiling. I have all 4 house banners hanging from the walls, cauldrons in each table instead of trash cans, a full wizarding chess set, full Quidditch set, Triwizard Tournament trophy, all kinds of different accessories and decorations, and then also the entire book series for students to read in my student library. And all this is only worth $375 because we're being matched because of Hurricane Harvey. You can see today is the first day we've been fundraising for it, and we've raised $25 so far, which isn't too bad because it's Monday and usually kids forget over the weekend. But we're going to try and reach that goal. And then I'm going to put a link in the description if you feel like donating. I'd really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and enter the class. Like I said, I haven't been in this class all day, so it could probably be a wreck, but it doesn't look too bad. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a tour of the whole classroom. So I have 6 different tables, 1 up front, 2 behind the couch, 4th one is in the back as a standing table. You got the 5th one is the round table that's normal height, and the 6th one is the round table that's floor level, kind of like a coffee table. And then in the back you also have my teacher conference table, which doubles as my desk. That is the only area of my room that's off limits to kids, is behind it, and then kids will pull their chairs up to it whenever they're conferencing with me or doing small groups. We have a very large shelving / cubby unit that kids can hang their backpacks on, but we don't actually use it because we have a rotation in the 5th grade, so it's mostly just storage space. This is our one cabinet that we have in the entire classroom that actually closes and gives you a little bit of privacy for stuff like that. We've got a bulletin board that has my 5 rules and everything, pledge, flag, all that. My super improver wall. We have brand new wall mounted projectors. It's awesome. We just got them in about February. Let's see. You got my supply cart right here that has everything from paper, pens, pencils, highlighters, post-it notes, stickers, everything like that, including my tools. We actually just got these 2 brand new tables that are going to be replacing the standing table and the front wobble table because those are really old tables and they don't match, so I'm getting a matching set thanks to Donor's Choose. We are in a really, really old school. This school was built so long ago that you can tell it's old that all the adult restrooms are female restrooms. There's only like 3 male restrooms in the whole building because when the building was built, mostly only females were teachers. So you can definitely tell this is a really old building. We have this big old air conditioner set. We have a library on each side, so we have a library over there and a library in the corner. These are going to be my fantasy books. These are all fantasy. Those are all realistic fiction. And then on my cubby area, I have nonfiction, poetry, war books, historical fiction, sci-fi, mystery, and horror. I need another bookshelf. I actually just got one from Donors Choose. You also got the dictionary set, class set, colored pencils and stuff like that. And then I make it kind of my own with all of the loot crates I get and Doctor Who paraphernalia. You can see there's a bunch of Doctor Who stuff along with Doctor Who, Weeping Angels. There's a couple TARDISes hidden away. And then I've got Matt Smith's Doctor as a cardboard cutout and a Dalek that's not up right now. So I've got all the bean bags. Like I said, motivational posters are still up, but otherwise all the anchor charts and stuff have been pulled down. You've got kind of a Starry Night look, but it's from Doctor Who as well, along with the police call box. We are an Avid school, so we use slant. Every room comes with a sink, but not a restroom. More book shelving, but they're really super deep and big, so we usually use them for other stuff. And then my organizing and stuff like that, and then our classroom computers. These classroom computers are special because they're the ones that we built from our computer engineering club. So that's the room. Now let's move on to the next thing. The next thing that I was going to cover is flexible seating. If you look in my room right now, I have these 6 different tables with several different options that students can use. Each table has a set option that they have to start off with, but then they can bring other options from the moving different seats. They can move it to wherever they would like. This is actually a rough draft. This has been constantly evolving all year as we get new stuff, but this is kind of the rough draft of what it is. So we had 6 tables plus the couch, and now these are all kind of different as well. For example, we don't have a square wobble and a round wobble anymore. We just have the other ones, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then these are all the various different options. And we actually have some new options as well because we just got more stuff from flexible seating. We have a restroom sign-out sheet that I can't really show you because it's got names on it, but that is how my students go to the restroom, and I track where who's going, how often they're going, and how long they're gone. But this basically tells them, can they move it? Can they use it in their base seat? Can they use it during free time? And then can they use it during comfy time? And free time and comfy time are 2 different things. Free time is essentially it's not free time. It's free seating. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Free seating is when you're not limited to a table and you can move to another seat, for example, a beanbag on the floor, but you still need to have eyes on me and you still need to be doing direct instruction. So that requires you to have a clipboard or lap tray to use, and that requires you to still be able to see the monitor if we're using it. Comfy time is specifically used for projects, independent reading time, or anything like that. And basically the only rule is nothing behind my desk or on top of furniture. Anything else goes. And the kids get really creative and go all kinds of different places. Like some of them like going in those nooks underneath the computer stuff. They'll put tables together or take tables apart. They'll pull all the stuff off the walls, and then they put it all back together at the end of class. So this is mostly clean. My kids do this every single day. That's one of the requirements, and if they can't keep it clean, then they lose the privilege of doing flexible seating or comfy seating, at least for a little bit. And that's one of the things that you definitely got to do with flexible seating. You definitely have to have processes and routines, and your classroom management has to be on point if you want to do this. Because if you have a chaotic classroom and you don't have classroom management under control, and then you throw this on top of it, you're going to lose your class really fast. So what we do every day is we come in and they have a set base seat. This base seat is where they go if there's a substitute, or when they're doing their warm-ups until they receive instructions what we're doing today and what they can do. So everyone has a base seat. Now they pick that seat once a week through various different means. We do a weekly spelling test, and the students can, sometimes they get to get first pick based on their scores, so the highest scores pick first, and then we work our way down. Sometimes we choose at random using popsicle sticks, and we call it the Cup of Destiny. And sometimes I'll just do something goofy like longest to shortest hair, or birthday, put them in order by birthday, or just some random thing, just kind of mix it up. Now the couch specifically is only limited to the top 3 scores on the spelling test each week. That's the only people allowed on the couch, and that's a privilege that they just get. So it makes it really competitive, and you have classes where several kids are trying really, really hard to make that top score. So first table that we have is the wobble chairs, and this table is going to be replaced by one of those brand new tables later, because this one's too low to the ground and it's really old, and so I kind of want everything to match. One thing to note is I have to have a rug underneath the wobble stools, because these wobble stools, I didn't know this until it was already too late, the friction of them rubbing on the ground destroys the ground. Like if you lift up this rug, you can see where it was earlier in the year. All the wax has been scraped off the rug and the blue is starting to come off, and that's not even the worst side. The other side is actually worse than that. You can kind of see it on over there. So it will wear the floor out. So I highly recommend getting a carpet. These are 5 by 7 foot area rugs that they sell at Walmart for 20 bucks, and they work great, and they're pretty durable. So this is the wobble stool table. And then my 2 tables in the back each have wobble stools in the middle. That way they can share the carpet behind the couch. And then the other 2 seats at each table are these rolly cart yoga balls. Now we used to have regular yoga balls that weren't on a cart, and they were fine. We actually made it so that they won't roll around by creating a ring out of fanoodle. Take the fanoodle, you wrap it in duct tape, and you form it into a ring, and then that way it will not move and the ball will stay in place. But we just got these from a Donors Choose project. We got them this week actually. So these tables are the exact same. Then we have our front floor table. It has changed a lot this year. It used to be shorter, but we actually raised it about 6 more inches, and we made it so that you can use chairs at this place. It used to be a true floor table where you had to sit on the floor to use it, but most kids didn't like that. They didn't like truly sitting on the floor because there wasn't really good cushion, and these are really hard, cold tile floors, and so nobody ever sat there. So based on some feedback from them, we raised it up. We made it so you could use the bean bags or the saucer chairs there, and now it's one of the most popular seats. And then the next round table is our computer chair table. This is currently probably the most popular besides the couch. The kids love these rolly chairs. They feel important, they feel comfortable, and they're really nice. And we got these through Donors Choose as well. So this one is kind of, it's normal height table with the 4 chairs, and they like it because of the comfortableness and getting to kind of roll around and move. And then finally in the back we have a standing table. To make the standing table, I used bed risers. These are 6-inch bed risers. You can get them at Walmart for a few bucks. There are stools there because I use I have 1.5 hour blocks, and asking kids to stand for a straight hour and a half gets kind of rough. So they do have some stools, but otherwise it is a standing table, so they can stand up and they can work while they move their legs and stuff like that. Now, in order to facilitate that, we have a class set of lap trays that we just got. Don't laugh that it's all black, because they're $18 each in black, and they would have been $5 more each to get any other color than black. Otherwise I would have gotten some other colors. But these are really big. You can set this on your lap. They're made for laptops, so they're about 19 inches in diameter. They have the handle built into them. They have a memory foam pad that's removable, and then they got more than enough room to have their notebook, a piece of paper, their folder, whatever they're doing can all fit on this. And so we have a class set of those. We also have a community supply bucket, which I'll show you what I put inside. My kids are responsible for these buckets. Every day they refill them, they check them, and they make sure that they're all straight. So in the bucket you find a trash can, and every day it's one of their jobs to empty the trash can and to check for trash on the floor. You have a bin with 20 washable markers that they have to count every day. You also have 2 pairs of scissors, 2 glue sticks, and 2 glue bottles. The glue stick's probably underneath the pens. You also have 4 blue pens, 4 black pens, 4 red pens, and 4 highlighters. Every day, one of the people's jobs is to count all of these items and make sure they're all there, while the other person empties the trash can. Another job that helps me with routines is that we have our notebooks built into the class. So the bottom shelf is social studies, the top shelf is reading and writing, and then the folders are their warm-ups. So we have every 9 weeks, we have a set of warm-ups that we print out, and they do the warm-ups every single day in here. Can't show you the name, sorry. I do color code the classes, so every kid in my first period has red, every kid in my second period has blue, every kid in my third period has green, and it looks like with my student teacher they were kind of in a hurry and they didn't get that done. Kind of disappointing. And then I have my pencil sharpener. And then also to help them facilitate working anywhere where they want, we have a class set of clipboards. So we just got 24 clipboards, four of 6 different colors. So I have yellow, red, blue, pink, and then black and green are down below. I'm actually looking for a way to store these right now, but essentially every table is now a color. So the wobble stools are black, so they all would use the black clipboards, and then that way they all have a set place. So basically they have these, they have the lap trays, or they can get creative and do kind of their own thing as well. Alternatives. If they're not filling the seat that's in the room at the time, we do have a set of chairs that I do have kids that like, oh, we're taking a test. I really don't want to be bouncing up and down on a ball while I'm taking a test, so I'm going to get a chair. We also have box stools, and these are also amazing because they double as storage. They open up and you can store a ton of stuff in them, and they double as stools. That container right there just has like Ziploc bags and stuff. And then we have the floor pads. These floor pads are really cool. They're inflatable, but they're not inflated all the way on purpose. They have a slightly bumpy side on one side and a tall bumpy side on the other side. So these are, what's the word? It's sensory, so the kids can feel these different patterns, and that helps some kids out a lot. And then they're kind of like wobble stools in that they constantly have you off balance and you've got to do it. In fact, these are sold as a workout tool, as a core body workout. So these are pretty cool, but they're not very popular. The kids don't like them because they're not actually soft and fluffy. The kids tend to like the soft stuff a lot more. But a few of them do like it, so I keep a couple around. I've given some of the others away. Then you have all the pillows, all the Big Joes. Those are really popular, especially for comfy time. And then we have 2 gaming chairs, rocking chairs, which we got as well. Now that the flexible seating is done, we can get to the whole brain learning. So if you look up here, well, I didn't really show it before, but I do have my flexible seating guidelines. The book genres are color-coded for the different libraries. But these are the 5 rules. Follow instructions quickly, raise your hand to speak, raise your hand to leave your seat, make smart choices, keep your dear teacher happy. These are from the Whole Brain Learning Teaching Strategy, which is created by Chris Biffle in a group in California, and it was amazing. My very first year teaching, I actually wasn't renewed, I didn't have my contract renewed, and classroom management was one of the reasons why I was quoted. So when I came back again for another job, I said, if I'm gonna teach, I'm gonna be good at it. And so I set out with Whole Brain Learning trying to fix it, and every year since I've either been nominated or won Teacher of the Year by doing this method. And I'm actually a mentor teacher, teaching people how to have classroom systems and how to have classroom management, which is kind of ironic since I was fired for it my very first year, and now I'm a mentor teacher for it. So I love this system. I can't speak highly for it enough. I will link a how to set it up, and the guy Chris Biffle who created it, he has hundreds of hours of professional development online for free on YouTube of how to set it up, how to do all the parts, and it's amazing. So the 5 rules, there we go. The next thing is a super improver wall. This is also a whole brain learning technique, and what it is there are 10 stars per rank, and then there are 10 ranks for a total of 100 points. You can do it a bunch of different ways. Like there are ones where like each one is an animal or each one is like a character and things like that. But what I did is these are like sports terms, and I did memes on each of them because kids and memes. And then, like I said, each period is color coded. So I got first, second, third in red, blue, and green. And they compete with each other to see who the best class is, and then they get rewards at each rank. So as an example, when they passed rank 5 recently, they got an extra 15 minutes of recess that week. And then I have a special thing for Living Legends, where if they make it to Living Legends, they actually get a class picture framed and put up in my room for the rest of the time that I'm teaching. And that's kind of that almost impossible goal that no one has ever reached, and that kind of keeps them going. The reason why it's almost impossible is at the semester it resets, and if we have 90 days in a semester, 100 stars to earn it. You can earn extra stars by high grades, being good for a substitute, things like that. But if you just do everything you're supposed to do, you're not supposed to make it to Living Legends. If you want to be a Living Legend, you got to go above and beyond and earn those extra stars and get all the regular ones. So it's almost impossible. The closest I think I've had a class get to is 84 in a year. We got our week at a glance, which tells us what the plan for the week is. Right now we're heavily focused on the science star test because it's coming up. And then on Tuesday, they're doing a research project where they're researching a college in Texas. And on Thursday, we're doing our our literature circles where they're all reading novels in groups based on whichever choice they picked. And they had like 6 different options. As you can see, I've got a scoreboard, which is, it's my classroom management tool on a day-to-day basis. When they do something really well, they get a point. When they do something not so well, I get a point. I'm happy when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, because that means that I get to talk all the way to the end of class. They get free time, 1 minute per point when they win. But the trick is that you're the scorekeeper. You never let it get more than 2 or 3 points either way, and you keep it super competitive, and you can give points for just about anything. If you really need points, you'd be like, oh, you know what? There just wasn't enough energy in that answer. I get a point. Yay. And when they get a point, they get to do a 1-second party. And when I get a point, they have to do a mighty groan. The 1-second party, what they do is they can say, oh yeah, or they do boom, boom, clap, clap, dab. And that's their favorite. And when I get a point, the mighty groan, they go, aw. And then this board is kind of just where I make little notes to myself. The board really isn't set up. We got our spelling words for the day. We have the Genius Ladder, which is also a whole brain thing. And what this does is this teaches them how to take a simple sentence and turn it into a full paragraph over the course of a week. So they take the unicorn flew. Monday, they add an adjective and make it like the enormous unicorn flew. And an adverb, how did he fly? The enormous unicorn flew quickly. Tuesday, they add a preposition, so they have to say where the unicorn flew to. Wednesday, they add a cause and effect. So what was the effect of the unicorn flying? Thursday, they have to add what happens after. And Friday, they can add a detailed sentence, whatever they want. You can mix them up. You can add different ones. But the idea is they're taking the unicorn flew and forming it into a full paragraph. My student teacher has pretty bad handwriting, but you kind of see, normally what happens is the top is my objectives, the middle is my language objectives, and the agenda is down at the bottom, and then I have the Genius Ladder on the board as a PowerPoint, but he hasn't been doing that because he's doesn't have access to my computer. And then finally, this is covered up for testing. I was actually told that Dr. Seuss is something that could help them on the STAR test, so I had to cover it up. Everything on here, it's just an entire board of nothing but Dr. Seuss quotes. And it's all motivational quotes, but apparently it would help them on the STAR test, so I had to cover it. I also had to take down the calendar because it's a graphic organizer. That's the funniest stuff we deal with as teachers, I guess. Old TV doesn't work, they just haven't removed it yet. I'm trying to think anything else whole brain learning. Like I said, I can't praise whole brain learning enough. This is not all of it by any means. There's all kinds of stuff, like there's built-in turn and talks. There's kinesthetic learning where they're having to physically do stuff called mirror words, where they have to copy your motions and repeat what you say. All kinds of wonderful things. Definitely look it up. I'll put a link in the description to the guy who actually originally created it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the whole brain learning stuff. Moving on. So the final part is the computer engineering part. Both of these computers, as well as the one over in the corner, are all built by students with my supervision. and then we've actually built it, taken it apart, rebuilt it, so forth and so on. Both of these computers are actually gaming computers and video computers, meaning they're designed to create videos and render them and edit them and then upload them to, it could be streaming or YouTube. And what makes a gaming computer is that each one has a dedicated graphics card. So they basically have a mini PC inside of the regular PC that's just dedicated to doing nothing but graphics. And then we like to customize it a little bit. So this one was created by the boys, and it is themed fire or red. So we have the red, and then you can see inside through the panel, and you can see all the stuff in red. You can't really see it very well because of, you know, where our angle and stuff. But so this one is the fire themed one. And then this one is created by the girls in the club, and this one is Neon Cat. Neon Cat is a cat that has the body of a toaster that flies and poops rainbows. So yeah, that's a thing. It's a meme. So they made it pink with a neon cat wallpaper, and then the fans and lights inside are actually rainbow as they go. And then there's the dedicated graphics card right there that makes it a gaming computer. So both of these computers were donated through Donors Choose, and we were able to get these funded. Oh, there you go, Neon Cat and Fire. So both of these were created by the kids, and we use these in class to create video projects. Now this one is my Frankenstein computer. My Frankenstein computer is called the Frankenstein computer because it's built out of the parts of several other dead computers. We use this one to practice working on different skills. It does work, so I can turn it on. This one is blue themed, white and blue, because those are my favorite colors. And you can see the inside, and one of the things that this one has is this is a full tempered glass side panel, so you can see all of the details, and it has the shield on the bottom, so you can't see all of the bad wiring in there. It kind of is, it's kind of like reading. It hides all the work at the end and makes it look pretty. This one has tempered glass. The Neon Cat one has tempered glass. The boys decided to choose a higher quality computer with less aesthetics, better performance, but it doesn't look quite as nice. This is a plastic, not the whole side either. But what you can do with this one is it has a remote, and you can change this to whatever color you want if you get down there. So you can change this to any color. But they chose red for fire. I'm very proud of the kids this year, and they've been doing an awesome job with this. In fact, we actually have a Donors Choose project up with them, and if we get that project funded, it would be $375, also because of the matching. What I want to do for them is I actually want to surprise them with a computer of their own. We're going to sell them that we have one more build that we are building for somebody else, and they're going to come in and build it, and then at the end I'm going to draw one of their names, and they're just going to get to take that computer home that day. If we can get it funded before the end of the year, and then I have to talk to Donors Choose about actually getting it before summer because they've already started the summer stuff. So this is really amazing what they've been doing. We've also helped a fellow teacher who had computers damaged during the hurricane, and he had 6 computers he had bought, and all of them got water damage. And what we did is we repaired as many of them as we could, and we salvaged pieces from the rest of them to make as many working computers as possible. And we were actually able to take 6 completely broken computers and form them into 4 working computers. So we did that for him. And we had another teacher who lost their computer in the hurricane, and she commissioned a computer where we helped her buy all the parts, and then we built it for her. So they've done a whole lot, and I really hope that I can get one of them a computer of their own as a reward for what an amazing job they've done. Over there you see we have just an old random case. Cases do come empty, just in case you never have seen that before. This is a totally empty case with no parts in it, and then you have to put all the pieces in. And then all those boxes are spare parts and spare cords and things like that. So yeah. So one of the things I also wanted to show you that I think is really, really important is when you're a teacher, you have to reflect on what you did as a teacher that year and what you can do better and how you can improve. So this is one of the things I do, which is an end of the year survey. They did this a couple days ago with the student teacher, and basically what this does is this covers different policies I've had during my class, different types of seating, all kinds of stuff, what they liked about me as a teacher, what they don't like about me as a teacher, what I could do better, what they think I did well, and then I actually take all this into account. It's actually because of this that I changed the floor table. It used to actually be even lower to the ground, and you truly had to sit on the floor, and everyone disliked it. But after feedback, they came up with their own solution. They thought that we should raise it up higher and make it so that you can still use some chairs in it, which we made it the perfect height to use the Big Joes or the saucer chairs. And I thought the Big Joes would be the most popular choice, but while I wasn't here one day, they switched it to the saucer chairs for me. And this is just an example of how if you give ownership of your room and share it with the kids, this is all about you guys owning this class together. They have just as much ownership in this class as me, and thanks to that, they have come up with so many great ideas and made my classroom better throughout this year, and this has truly evolved. Like, I'm going to include pictures of how we were starting off, how we were after our first couple projects got funded, and what we're like now, and then later on, if I get the Harry Potter project, I will post pictures of that. But this room has truly transformed this year, thanks to Donors Choose and my amazing kids. And really, I know flexible seating is terrifying. I know flexible seating is scary to give that control away to the students. But if you have high expectations and you set clear procedures and rules and expectations, and you just give it to them and give them the opportunity, you would be amazed how much they surprise you. Now, there have been times, because they're kids and kids make mistakes, that they've done something dumb and they've made poor choices. But there are consequences. They know the consequences. They know that if they can't make a correct choice, then I will make the choice for them. And I've had to take all the chairs away and replace them with tables for 1 week, one time in my classroom, because I was very, very sick, and they were awful for sub one time. But other than that, they've been absolutely amazing with it. It's worked out great, and I'm never looking back. So this is how I've implemented whole brain learning and flexible seating in my classroom, and this is how our classroom does it. If you have any questions, put a comment in the description. I've got my Donors Choose projects linked, as well as a link to the original Chris Biffle videos on how to set up whole brain learning. Please give both of them a visit, and if you like what you saw, please give me a like and subscribe. Have a great day. See you in the next one.